as this media slot. Boom. All right. Doing this live behind the scenes for y'all. Not really for y'all because this is a fucking train wreck. Let me just do it this way. Discard these changes. Let me go in and fucking delete this thing. Boom. All right, there we go. Let's at least save that for now. Now we'll figure this out later once we get this going. There's Ty. Here is where is the how do I not have bro? Still struggling. Stand by.
Oh,
Gonna get the projections up. Ty, how you doing today?
Oh, dude, I'm doing great. Honestly.
Are you?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, good. I'm doing great, dude. I switched my diet about like
Brilliant.
4 or 5 days ago.
Brilliant.
Do not have processed foods.
Wow.
And I feel like amazing.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. Make us all feel bad about our diets. Good for you, man. Has it helped with the betting?
Nope.
No. What's the last couple of days been like for you?
Definitely like down, either break even or down a little bit. Probably down a little bit.
Got you. That's tough.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me get this over here. Man, this is tough, bro. It's not working the same way it normally does. That's fine. We'll just figure it out from here. All right, let's get into some stuff here. I'm going to start on Props Madness. This is going to be where we're at talking about some of these games. Do you want to just get into some stuff that you want? And Matt, feel free to interrupt at any point if somebody has something in the comments that we want to look at. But take me wherever you want to go here, Ty.
Okay. I think, let's see. Let's start with Pacers and Spurs. I think that's an interesting one. I do have one play in this, and it's only at Profit X, and it did move a number, but I'm very, very high on Steph Castle today. I really like his 20.5 points. I think that like the fact that earlier today, Fox is like 25.5 and he was 19.5. But I think that the fact that him and Fox, or he has a lower line than Fox, doesn't really make much sense to me, given that when they're on the court together, Castle actually has a higher usage rate. But we know how the Pacers defend, right? They are going to play single coverage. You're going to stay home on the shooters, and they're going to, if you're a slasher, they're not going to send much help. I think this is a perfect matchup for Steph Castle. He's at I think he's at 22.5 points per 32 minutes with Wemby out, and I don't think you can really ask for a much better matchup than Indiana for Steph. So I think that I'd probably have this line 22.5, man. So I honestly kind of like it at 20.5 too.
Yeah, no, I see it. Did you have an opinion on this one, Matt? I know we were talking about this a little bit in the chat here, but I can't remember if you had thoughts on the Castle. We were talking about him and kind of like Dylan Harper as the two guys to potentially look at in the VIP chat here. I think I know where a couple people stood on this one, which was, of course, now Props Madness is acting up. A couple people were like, well, I think it just makes more sense that the usage is coming for Castle, and you don't necessarily know that it's coming for Dylan Harper when you've seen him play like few minutes even without Wemby. So did I know that was where JK Hannah came in. Where did you land on this one?
I didn't bet Castle or Harper, to be honest with you. If I were to bet one of them, I'd probably bet the upside of Harper, but I don't dislike Castle because he's going to be consistent. And Ty is right. He's going to have the usage, I would believe. So, I mean, I don't hate either bet. I just don't see enough of an upside for me personally. I did take Keldon Johnson's boards, though.
Just the boards, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, as we kind of look at where to go in this game in terms of like, well, who's getting some of the Wemby usage. They split it relatively evenly. The thing that kind of makes you a little bit weird is obviously the 27 minutes for Castle in this last game, and that just puts it in my head that like he wasn't full in that one because he was never going to play full. He did have 3 fouls, but I don't think that was really relevant. It was more that he was questionable before the game, and then he ended up being in. Right. So that kind of like makes you a little bit nervous there. I think I know what I'm doing wrong too. Let me see if I'm going to leave it up. I'm tripping about the layout right now, but I'm just going to let it go. And we're going to keep talking about sports betting. So yeah, I also stayed away. And the look that I did have was Keldon Johnson's rebounds. Those are juiced a lot more now. Pinnacle still got -142. This opened at about the -110, which no shock that BetMGM is late to update its lines to the appropriate odds. But the 6.5 is it just felt a little bit like I'm relying a little bit too much on recent stuff. There's no uptick in his stuff without Wemby. The rebounds. There's no uptick in his usage. Minutes only go up by 2. Things like that just sort of scared me from feeling like, oh, this is a great lock. The thing I keep coming back to though is like you have to take somebody's rebounds against the Pacers. You have to.
Yeah.
They are the worst team at limiting rebounds. They're playing at a really fast pace, especially as of late. They're in the top 10. So someone's got to board up. I didn't end up betting on anything in this game yet, and was hoping maybe somebody would talk me into it. Did you have anything else in this one, Ty, before we try to maybe go to the chat or something?
No, I don't, but I like your Keldon rebounds look. I will say, like the minute thing though. First of all, he did play, I think last game, he played 31 minutes last game, right? And that was without Devin Vassell. So no Devin Vassell is definitely going to boost his minutes, and you're not going to have like much data on that. But I think, and also Champagny shot like 11 threes. So he played way more minutes than expected because, like, of course, you left him in when he's playing like that. So
definitely,
honestly, man, I like your Keldon look. I'd probably have Keldon at like 28 minutes or so. And I think that like if you do his his average rebounds and then do it per 28 minutes in the games without Wemby, you're kind of soaring over that 6.5 line. So I think that's a pretty good look personally.
You're not going to have a huge sample size, but most of these games where we take it and go 26 to 30 minutes, and that gives us an average of 28 minutes, and see the games that he basically averaged this range, the points already look good. The rebounds, 26 to 30. I mean, most of these are without Wemby, so you don't really need to do without Wemby. Like half of them are. So three out of 5, whatever. But it's not necessarily a huge sample size, and that's again why I'm just kind of like, all right, contextually, like my thing with Champagny is that he's the Vassell guy. I screenshotted this. I had it locked and loaded in a text to send a guy who helps me get bets down. Love Champagny in this game versus the Knicks when Vassell is not going to be available. He started in the past when they were short guards and like 2 guards and the like. And I think he's going to start, and we're still getting him at 8.5. That text was left unsent and never hit the other gentleman's text. So I didn't get the bet down, which was awesome. And I just watched him go 11 for 17 and just watched all of the money that could have been made just flutter away as I'm watching him hit shot after shot. But like, I still think he's going to be in for a nice floor because of Vassell. He gets that bump from him. Whatever you want to do with that. Let's say like you put him at like 20. Let's do 26 to 30 for him for a sec. The boards always intrigue me. The points are about what he's listed at, and then the boards are basically the same thing too. So this is kind of like what I think they're projecting is like 26 to 30 could be coming for him, Keldon, Harrison Barnes, all 3 of those guys. Like that's just kind of what made me stay away from this in general. And De'Aaron Fox is as high as he is for a reason, because he's the guy that we can depend on to play like 33, 35 minutes. That's happening unless it's a blowout, which the market's telling us they don't think it is because it's a 6-point spread and that's where it's sitting. So Matt, anything that the chat or anybody was talking about in this game that might be worth a look?
Sure. No one tagged me, but like we have some Huff under rebounds looks. Huff does not get minutes.
I'm putting this over your face because I forgot to hold it up here for a minute, which is that Matt is in the chat. So if you do hit him up, like he said here, if you can, it's super helpful if you provide the angles or filters, but also keep it to the game that we're on for a minute. And as soon as we go to move, like we're going to try to find the games that make sense to go to anyway. And then let's just bring bets up in the comments that are relevant to the game that we're talking about. Just super helpful to stay on point. It makes me feel a little bit less of a headache by the time we're done here. So was there one that you said Huff under on the boards? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I played Huff under on the PR. I should have given that out. I keep being like, I don't have anything for this game. And I'm forgetting that I played Huff as soon as I could. He at 12.5 PR right now? Yeah. And there's it's already getting down. So he's losing minutes. The boards have stuck around 4.5. They're pretty much gone. So I think the value on Huff is gone. This stuff moves, man, like water in your hands. It's like that's how fast these lines are moving. You can't even bet on it sometimes. But Huff was opened at like 14.5 PR, which was absurd when you consider he didn't play the second half against the Magic, and his minutes are just dwindling because Nesmith is back to play minutes. Tony Bradley is getting minutes because he's actually better than Huff as a rebounder and rim protector. So is every center. And then even Micah Potter is making waves. Everyone's favorite former Utah Jazz, Micah Potter, who would come in and ruin our Filipowski bets. Now he's coming in to ruin your J Huff bets unless you go under. So I think that's a good look. Anything else from this one? We got plenty of games, so I might just move us on if that's cool, Matt.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Let's do it this way. I like having you drive it with what you're looking at, Ty, if you don't mind. If you have another one.
For sure. Let's go to Nets and Wizards. So this one did move a 0.2, but I like a different angle. I played Bilal Coulibaly over 12.5 PA. I think I like 10.5 points. I think that's playable. But there's no Keyshawn George, no Cam Whitmore, no Corey Kispert. A bunch of forwards are missing. I think he plays like around like 27 minutes or so, and it's not like it's not like his numbers are crazy or anything, but he's averaging 10.1 points. He has like abysmal shooting splits. Like I think he's shooting like 38%, 25%. So to be honest, you have to like regress that a little bit because he's not that bad. I'm not saying he's a good player or anything, but the Nets, I think it's a really good matchup. They're going to blitz the pick and roll every single time. And CJ McCollum's pretty pick and roll heavy. So is Trey Johnson. So is Bub Carrington. So is Chris. Like literally everyone in that starting lineup is like, you look at their like top play types, it's like pick and roll handler.
Yeah.
So I think he'll get some good spot up looks. Nets also allow a ton of stuff like at the rim, from less than 10 feet. And that's 55% of Bilal's points. I think that is just like a really good matchup for him. And you could argue that all the other guys won't get much through the pick and roll. And as like the spot up guy, I think it's pretty good for him.
Yeah, that makes total sense. He is the only guy, except for the other Champagny, who, by the way, was I consider for the exact same reasons as what you're talking about here. Which is just that, like, yeah, it's like if he gets them, like when I looked at his minutes last game, I was like, what the hell, 33 minutes? Look at his boards, 9 boards. Like this dude's still just doing all of the same stuff he always does, which is like if he gets these minutes, then he's playing like that. Well, he's getting these stats. So I think he makes sense too, even for the points at 8.5 in this one, if you expect him to get minutes, which I think, like the same guys have been missing. It's mostly that Keyshawn's out and Kispert's been out. So all of this stuff here with the minutes, 25, 27, 33, in close games, nobody's really missing differently now. So I still think Champagny is a pretty good look in this one too. I haven't pulled the trigger on anybody because they are splitting minutes pretty evenly. I considered Alex Sarr in this one as well. Didn't get anything down on him. Let me pull up the Swishland model for a minute because I do want to see the Washington stuff and see how we have some minutes split up if we're looking at this. So if we're looking at this is the one on LandYourBets.com. You guys probably seen it at this point in the videos I'm making the night before. But yeah, we still pretty much have everybody between like 20 to 30 minutes. I don't think it's caught up to Trey yet. Trey Johnson playing high 20s. But again, I think it also seems like it's night to night, and maybe Trey's getting Keyshawn George's minutes. But it's just tough to like be like, oh yeah, we can guarantee ourselves these minutes. Bilal should be out there. I think he had foul trouble recently. He had 5 fouls against the Bucks. That's why he played that 25 minutes there. But if you do project him for more than that, like he's been playing closer to 30 than to 25, then I think Bilal's a good look for some usage there. Anything else on this one from Utah? I was going to ask you in a sec too, Matt, if you have anything.
I don't have anything. I think that Day'Ron Sharpe at 11.5 feels a little bit low, right? Without Nick Claxton. I mean, you think he played like 30 minutes? I mean, per 30 minutes,
I'm just not sure. Is Danny the Wolf gonna be stealing some minutes from him? That would be a concern.
Someone has to play the backup 5, but like he's only center on the roster if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, fair. I was looking at him for boards earlier. I think he's a little expensive.
Yeah,
but I was looking at him.
Yeah, I immediately went to his boards too, and then it's like, Jesus, 10.5, man. We are getting out of control with the Day'Ron Sharpe stuff here. Let me pull up the Brooklyn roster too real quick. And just see just a quick glance, and maybe there's going to be plenty of matchup stuff for Brooklyn, by the way. Like if you punish the rim, then you're going to be good to go here. And there's just not many of that guys. I guess Zaire Williams would be someone, but yeah, who's going to get the usage here? I don't know how to split it up. If Day'Ron Sharpe gets 31 minutes, then yeah, I think even 8 boards might be a little bit low against this squad.
What's his double-double?
What's a double-double?
Yeah, what's his double-double? Is it like plus 1 something?
Jeez. Oh, because the boards are 10.5. You're not gonna, and I think his points are 11.5.
Worth it.
Yeah,
wait, that's actually the way to play it, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that's probably the safest way to do it. If you get
plus 125, then you're just getting better odds on the derivative of the fact that like the 11.5, 10.5, there's pretty high chance they're saying of this happening. So why would I not take 10 and 10 as the way to go for plus money for him? Just got to get him to the minutes. There's nothing that's going to really tell you this stuff with Brooklyn. It's just going to be minutes. That how do you split them up? And then is it like who's ever playing well gets those minutes? So yeah, let's keep rolling through this game, Matt. Unless anybody had something that sounded awesome that we want to talk about.
Yes, we have Duris Fairlow asking about Sarr rebounds because everyone is out for Brooklyn, MBJ, Claxton, etc.
Sarr boards, yeah. That would be I really want to bet on him too. The points are still probably pretty doable. They moved up 2 after he had 20 against Milwaukee. The 28 minutes was a little bit of a surprise when I thought he was still on a strict 25-minute limit, and then he and Trey Johnson both played 28 in this game against Milwaukee that they won by 1. So it's kind of like, so if they're in the game, are they just going to play who they think is the best chance to win? It kind of sounds like the answer is yes. The boards for Sarr are at 7.5 juice still, and that's the thing is like this is fair. Like, to me, this is where they should be, is hovering up between 7.5 and 8.5. And you have to decide if you would rather have a bet for plus money or the 7.5 and drink the juice of minus 150 almost, right? So for the rebounds, like, I still like it. This is a good bet against a team that doesn't have its normal board rebounders in, but like, isn't Day'Ron Sharpe a better rebounder than Nick Claxton, perhaps? Like, it's tough. So do you have an opinion on that one, Matt, when someone brought it up?
Yeah, I think if I were to bet boards in this game, it has to be against Washington, and it would be Sharpe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Marvin Bagley, guys. I mean, if you think about it, right, because Marvin Bagley is still playing pretty good minutes. His minutes will overlap most likely. I guess we don't know for sure what Sharpe's rotation is going to be, but I mean, he's going to be going up against like the Danny Wolf small ball 5, unit and stuff. So I think that Marvin Bagley actually makes a fair bit of sense here. I think it's a pretty good matchup for him too. 5.5 boards. I know he's been playing like 20 minutes a night, which is weird, but I think Bagley makes a fair bit of sense.
Well, yeah. So he's literally what, like the inverse of Sarr's minutes, right? Like 20 because Sarr got 28, and 22 because Sarr played probably like 25 or 26 against the Suns, which he actually played 26. So if we put Sarr at 25 and give him 23, let's just say he plays 20 to 24 for starters, and see what that looks like for boards themselves. Oh, there's points. Rebs, pretty fair. I know you get the good matchup. We lost Ty for a sec. Oh, there he is. I know you get the pretty good matchup. Points and rebounds combined. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think Sarr is still like, you're asking him to do a lot in few minutes for bags, unless you get him to like above 24. I think 24 is pretty fair as like, yeah, he plays 24. That would mean Sarr's playing 24, and I think we got to give Sarr another 4. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just a small margin for me, but it was an interesting idea either way. If people are interested, and yeah, it looks like Pinnacle, who we consider a better book at setting lines on these other ones, has this at 6.5, and you can still get 5.5 on other places like Beloved Hard Rock and whatnot. So let's keep rolling. We've got time, but like, I just want to make sure we get through games, unless there's anything pressing from you guys. I think Sarr is interesting, but nothing there for me. Let's just keep rolling.
I got one last thing too. I got one last thing. Okay. I mean, guys, like, where you have Day'Ron at 30 minutes, right?
That's what the model's saying. I will say, like, the model tends to pull guys up if they're starting in minutes a bit, right? Just to sort of like make sure we're keeping things relatively even for a floor. So like, if you think Danny Wolf and Day'Ron Sharpe are both starting, which is what I think we're projecting here, then yeah, I think, I don't know. I think one of these guys is playing less than 30, basically, between Wolf and Sharpe.
Yeah. Well, so I think Day'Ron's going to play 30 personally. Per 30 minutes, he's at 23.3 PR, and it's against the Wizards, which is obviously like a very plus PR per minute spot. Like, so you can easily make a case that this line should be like 24.5, 23.5 juiced over. There's 21.5 at FanDuel. I think this is a really good look, and it's something I'm heavily weighing.
Yeah, I'm betting that right now. I agree.
Matt just needed a little tip.
I've been looking at it all day.
Just a little nudge.
I'm gonna wait to make sure he starts. I don't just make sure Jordy doesn't do any weird stuff. But then I'm gonna pull the trigger. Just
you gotta play with Jordy. Yeah, Jordy Fernandez is random lineup rotation. So I think we're good to go to Knicks Hawks. We still don't know about Cat. I'm just waiting for the underdog update on Twitter. Karl Anthony Towns is a game time decision. We're gonna get that pretty soon. So just be ready for that one.
Already got it.
Oh, we already got it. Okay, great.
I'm pretty sure I just
behind
saw
the times. Yep. You already knew it was coming. I thought they might wait until like an hour before tip, but no.
Did you see Mitch Robinson was out?
Oh, and Mitch is out.
Yes.
All right, so we got stuff to work with, baby. I don't have a lean on whether Cat plays or not, I'll be honest. So I'll stay away from trying to project that and just see if we can avoid bets that rely on whether or not Karl Towns is playing. Let me kick things off since I'm always so generously asking you to go first, Ty, which is also just me getting my thoughts together. But I have him here for Miles, which is like I'm hitting this. Talked about him in the last 2 games, in the last 2 episodes, and the projection for this last game against the Spurs was he's still going to get 26 minutes. They need his offense off the bench. They need him off the bench because Mike Brown does not like putting Jordan Clarkson in, and he has now said for like the 3rd time this season that until Tyler Kolek is not a liability on defense, he's not going to get many minutes. And so he's been relegated to like 15 minutes a pop for Tyler Kolek. Enter Deuce McBride, right? So, and Josh Hart is still out. So there's plenty of minutes to go around for guys that can at least handle the ball and at least aren't a liability on defense, which Deuce is actually a pretty good point of attack defender overall. He's tough to get around. So with that in mind, I took him at 10.5. You can still get this. I think this is like a potential 15 plus kind of game, but I can easily see him getting between 10 and 15 points. So I'm not really in a rush to bet the 15 plus. It seems like that's a fair look. But if we just look at the minutes here and we give him like 22 to 26, for instance, and we put a ceiling at 26, this is going to be a nicer number. 10.5 would give you another little win right here against the Mavs. But even if you make this like 20 to 26, it's still like 13. Like, this is where he lives, is between 11 and 15 points. So if you're going to give me that for like even money for a 12 or 11 for a little bit of juice, like I'm happy to take that. So that was my only one in this game, I'm almost sure. But any thoughts on that, or moving to another one from either of you guys?
I like Deuce. This Hawks defense is atrocious. Yeah, and he's trending to be like a 26, probably in that 26-minute range, maybe even uptick a little bit, because he was out for a minute, honestly. So, you might see him go up to like 28 or so. 12.1 points per 26.5 against Atlanta. I think that's a solid look. And there's 10.5 out there. Wow.
Yep. Love that idea too. Yeah. What's up, Matt?
I took Deuce, but I also took a Congo over 1.5 3-pointers earlier.
That was a community love. There was some love on that one in the community in the VIP chat, right?
Yeah, I started it. That was on me.
I was taking Okongwu threes before it was cool.
Absolutely.
Before it went mainstream. That's what isn't that what we're trying to do here? Isn't that the name of the game? You can still get some plus money on DK, whatever. But yeah, that makes total sense to me too, with the Knicks drop cover / Cat awful defense. But now there's not even drop cover. I mean, Cat will drop, but Mitch isn't even available. So did he didn't start last game. He started last game and Kristaps came off the bench for them, right?
Yep.
Pretty sure that's what happened. Yep. So man, I'm with it. I'm totally with it with Okongwu stuff today in a plus matchup without, like, I was happy to take Zion the other day for anybody that goes towards the basket. He is scoring more of his points away from the basket than you might think for a center. But again, the threes are what you're talking about here. Catch and shoot. He's scoring 41% off of that. What do you think of Kristaps threes?
I don't hate it. I just don't know how many minutes we're should be expecting for Kristaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
he's a tough one.
I would have gone with that, and there's really no like revenge bullshit here. What about you, Ty? Did you have one in this game?
No, I actually don't. I think that this game is like kind of tough personally, so I'm kind of I'm staying off it. This is
are you buying the like Hawks better on D because Trey's not in, so that's going to be tougher for New York to score kind of thing?
I think Kristaps being back matters. So like Onyeka at the center versus Kristaps at the 5 is like a completely different defense. Kristaps is playing drop; he can actually protect the rim a little bit. Right. Or honestly, protect the rim pretty well. And then Onyeka, like the Onyeka lineups have 0 rim protection. He's blitzing the pick and roll every time. So like they're giving up a ton of catch and shoot stuff. So yeah, it's kind of weird right now.
Yeah. I did take, I'm going to regret this so much because it's like, I have to tell everybody that I bet on Zachary Risache. But I did it.
We had a question from chat about, Alexander Walker points over 20.5 without Trey.
Say that again.
We had a question for chat for Alexander Walker for points over 20.5 without Trey.
Cool. Can you, Matt, are you able to click on the comments and pull them up?
Let me see.
If you are, that'd be sick too, because then people can see their ish. Someone got like links on them. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
I am not. No.
Okay, we can figure that out later. And because I have ADD, I already forgot what you asked. So
Nah points over 20.5 without Trey.
Oh man, the killer Nah. Man, I just don't know how to get there with it. I don't know what to do with this offense outside of like Jalen. I haven't bet on Nah like once a season. You bet on Nah recently, Ty. What are your thoughts?
I don't have an opinion there. I think that 19.5 juice to the over probably is correct. I think it's priced good.
Yeah, I mean, Trey being out is nice. He has a lot of games with Trey out, with Jalen Johnson, not many with some with Kristaps, but I do think Kristaps throws a wrench in some stuff here, which is also why it was like a really crappy segue for you to intelligently say, Matt, Kristaps throws a wrench in some stuff. And then I was like, ooh, I took a spot up shooter against the Knicks because he's a spot up shooter. and he got into the starting lineup last game for Ricochet and played the 28 minutes in this game against a top 5 spot up defense, still took 10 shots, is definitely capable of hitting 2 of 5 from 3 or 4 of 5 of 10 from overall, right? Against a Knicks team that's not going to have any sort of rim protection at all, but more importantly, like is awful against the catch and shoot. But this is where he scores 41% at the rim, and then everything else catch and shoot from 3 essentially. So like that's how I like. That was the overs I want to take against New York, essentially. But Kristaps does throw a wrench in a lot of stuff, including it seems like is impacted pretty much. Let's see real quick. Oh, we don't have it with Kristaps out. We have stuff on the dashboard here that shows you if a player's out on the model here, you can see who benefits from them by just clicking down, and you'll kind of see some guys who get a bit more. But I think it's going to be Ricochet more than anybody, who they're like, all right, bro, you got another shot here. Let's see if you can like do anything with your time on the floor, and he'll get out to the starting lineup again. So. Anything else from the chat here, Matt?
I'm not seeing anything else.
Yeah. I got one for I got one. I'm probably looking pretty far back, but OG Rebs or there was one here for Dyson Daniels. I'll just start with OG. Really let me down. Yeah, it's 6.5 now. I don't think I can play that with OG. That's almost like Cat's not playing or something. This is where that's lined. So I'm not there with it. I took him for the 5.5 against the Spurs. Still thought it was a good matchup. Thought it was a better, not like they're a worse rebounding team, but I thought based on his matchups, he'd be in a good spot to get boards. If he's guarding Jalen Johnson the whole game, I don't like too much for him in that sense. And then the other one was Dyson Daniels. Any thoughts from you, Ty, on Dyson? I don't know if you looked at him at all. If not, it's all good.
Yeah, so teams have been guarding Dyson a lot with a center. I wonder if the Knicks do that. I like if there's like visual evidence of like team guarding Dyson with a center. That's when I like to like take his overs and stuff. But it's weird. Like I know we put Rudy on him last game, so yeah, I don't have any crazy opinions on Dyson. I think he's gonna play a lot. You definitely want him to pretty much match Jalen Brunson's minutes. So.
Right. Yeah, that's always the cap that I have for him is like when he's playing Jalen Brunson. But then last game, I believe Jalen Johnson went out a little bit early in this one against the Knicks, and like Dyson ended up doing even more. So I usually like to fade Dyson rebounds against the Knicks. He's been on one, but the reason would be the guarding of Jalen Brunson. Right. If he's guarding Jalen, then usually he's not going to see rebound chances. This is far and away his best rebounding game against his team, going back to last season when he was guarding Jalen the whole time. And his rebound chances were at like a little bit lower than normal. So I don't know. I don't have much other than I would be fading. I'm always trying to fade Dyson because he's really not like heavily involved in the offense in any way, even without Trey. He's still at about 12, 13 points. 11.5 is too low to go under for me, but it's juiced to the under for a reason. Like this is not an awesome bet. It's really going to be a 50-50 shot. So yeah, we can keep rolling. If you have another bet, Ty, take me to that game.
Okay. Let's go to Denver and Cleveland. I'm on, let's see if this is still there. Oh, geez. Okay. I mean, I'll share it. There's only a playable line, I guess, on DraftKings. I played Mitchell under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So basically, man, this Denver team stinks. I don't know if you remember last year, Josh, but do you remember how conservative Kenny Atkinson was with the minutes on like the star players last year, where like, 34 max minutes? They've kind of been straying away from that because of how bad they've been. They've like needed Donovan to backpack. Right. But I think now with Mobley, I fully expect him to play full minutes. DeAndre Hunter's upgraded to probable. Garland's looked pretty good recently. Allen's been back and stuff. I think they're pretty close to full health. And I kind of think Donovan's going to revert back to like that 32-minute per game guy who is like barely over a PRA per minute. Like if you click on Donovan last year and look at his hit rates with like Garland and Mobley healthy in the regular season, like they were just like brutal. So yeah, I'm on Mitchell under PRAs here, but I do have two really strong leans too, and I want your guys' opinions. Yeah, I really like Murray under.
Sorry, real quick, just to finish the point. You don't know if 30.5 is starting to lose you as far as an under for his PRA?
Yeah, I'm out on that. I think that there's a 39.5 at DraftKings, and I would give that a play.
Yeah,
but that's only a number.
So if you have DK and you can play under 39.5 for PRA, that's still a look. I see what you're saying entirely. I do think the 14-point spread is a big part of it, and they actually don't have that many games this year like they did last year with a 14-point spread or with a 14-point win. And this would be one that you would expect for sure. So, what was the lean? Sorry, I interrupted you. Let's get into those.
Yeah, someone in the comments said it. Jamal Murray, I really like his unders here. Obviously, Cavs are third best against pick and roll handler. Raptors were blitzing him at will. And I kind of think that every team's going to do that. If you look at Jamal Murray's numbers, like with Jokic off the court, with like the fantasy labs on off, they are terrible. He's around like 20 points per 36. If you could look at games without Jokic over the last 3 years, he's not good without Jokic, which is kind of weird. But 26 and a half.
It's actually not. If there was a player that it wasn't weird that they're out and then somebody's worse. This is one of the few ones, right? Like, who's another guy who just like Steve Nash was probably one where it was like Sean Marion sucks when Steve Nash isn't on the court because he's just waiting for the imbalanced offense. And with Jamal, it's just like Jokic is the sun of the universe, right? And so like all of the attention is on him. And so most guys go there and are better. I mean, I get your point. It is a little bit weird in that like Jamal Murray is now 1A alpha and doesn't have anything, but you look at, then you dive a little bit into like, well, how's he scoring? Oh, dribble handoff. Oh, I wonder who he's getting a dribble handoff from. The widest booty in the league. Yeah, that'll get him pretty open, right? So yeah, I think that makes total sense. Are you going PRA under, or I think the comment was about PRA, but the look you specifically had was points?
I think that points is like the matchup. Like that's going to be tough for him. Right. I think that his assist could be fine. But if you want to like play into the upside of them getting blown out, obviously like PRA is the way to go if you're playing into the upside that the minutes overall are just down. But I think that like I'd probably leave assists out personally. He did have 18 potentials last game.
Yeah. Are you convinced, Matt, that this is a blowout for Cleveland?
I'm not convinced that any game at this point is a blowout for Cleveland, but if there is one.
That's so true. Once OKC lost twice to San Antonio, we were all like, there's blood in the water.
If there is one, it makes sense that it's this one, just because there's such a thin rotation. Jokic is a massive hole, and I don't know. Also, just in addition to this game, Swish added me and said there was a note about coaches for Cleveland wanting to go to bigs, which I think is interesting because I considered Mobley. I don't know if y'all did. I really did. I think you're usually looking at, like, depending on obviously injury, like a couple of games of like warming up and getting back to your minutes. And this feels like the time I would think that we might see Mobley out there for more than like 28 minutes.
Mobley. Yeah. And he played 29 against the Suns. One last point I want to make before I forget about the Nuggets and why this is likely to be a blowout is you see this so much in the NBA, especially where, like, look at this game as the Raptors. They win by 3 in their second real game without Jokic, right? But it's their first real game without Jokic is this one against the Raptors. They win by 3 in a game where you're like, whoa, they won by 3 in a game they should have lost without Jokic. It's the first one. It's always the stars out, bets up, and then we come crashing back down to reality that we don't have Jokic and this is not sustainable, and that we just won this one game off this, like, momentum of like, let's get this one and like show that we can win without Jokic and go as hard as we can. And now let's come back down and run into this buzzsaw that's now been winning by double digits against a lot of teams recently. So I think Jamal Murray under makes sense, just to finish that point. And then if you're talking about who's going to get the minutes for them, I hear what you're saying on Mobley. If the intel from Swish it coming in, which by the way is another awesome thing I just wanted to shout him out for, which is that like the intel that we have pulling through. So if you're on the dashboard here and you're looking at like all these all the projections, we have intel being scraped from throughout the internet, from like coaching interviews and the media news, whatever news is coming out, plus podcasts, like things like that, like everything that's talking about sports and the NBA, this stuff pulls through. It sort of gets a little bit filtered and then pulls through. So the intel that he's talking about is probably coming from there, and that's talking about the bigs. My question would be, even if Mobley plays 32, I think 29 is close enough now to full for him. Like he's at 32.6, 33 on the season, let's call it. So yeah, we have another 4 minutes of wiggle room for him. But let's say this is a blowout, then that 4 minutes should probably bump down. And I think I can prove that too. Once again, using the model, I just want to see if we have this up for Cleveland. If you look at Cleveland, you can go to matchup and you can see they're expected to blow this team out. And you can scroll to the bottom here and see who does that mean we should fade if they do blow this team out. Sam Merrill loses 6 minutes. Donovan loses 4.7, to the point that Ty was making. Evan Mobley loses 4. So this is the point I was going to make, and now it's adding up so perfectly with the math, which is like, let's say his average is 33, but this team blows the other one out. Isn't that back down to 29? You know what I mean? So even with that intel in a likely blowout, I think we have to use that to come to the end conclusion. He is probably going to play 28 to 29 because that's where he's been at. And even if he was ready to play full, this game, you got to put him down 4. That said, let's say Jarrett, this one is the one that looks a little bit low to me. Like Deron Holmes is playing, everyone's favorite 29th overall pick or whatever from a couple years ago, who I don't think has played in the NBA yet, maybe 1 or 2 games. So like, shouldn't Jared Allen just like get every tip slam in the game? This is the only reason I'm bringing him up instead of Mobley, is it seems like maybe if he is going to play 28, 29, which is a bump up from all these 23s and 21s where he gets pulled early, then that would be the guy where you're like, okay, well, let's see if he does play like 26 to 30, for instance, at least. Like, then things look a little bit better. He's up to about 9 boards, up to at about 16 points. This would be the lines that seem a little bit depressed to me. Any thoughts on that, Matt, as I was trying as hard as possible not to shit on what you're saying, but being like, I think I like Allen a little bit better?
No, I think that makes sense. I'm always a big fan of zigging when you should be zagging. I think that makes a lot of sense. I was about to ask you, could you filter that with Mobley in?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have props madness up, so
right. On PM right here, yeah. Let's see how many of these there are. Yeah, a lot of them. That's good. And this is just this season, so it's like, yeah, about 15 points, which, okay, this is pretty fair, but like the matchup should be pretty easy. In fact, even if Jokic was playing, it's not like we're worried about the down low matchup. So yeah, any thoughts on the bigs here, Ty, from you, especially with Dean Wade questionable, by the way?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty in on Mobley stuff. Okay. I think so. He played his normal first half rotation. He just played 29 minutes due to blowout. So if you think it's going to be a blowout, I mean, probably have him at 29. But I mean, obviously, it's not like a guarantee to be a blowout, right? Like what we said.
No. Yep.
So I mean, look, this is a suppressed line for Evan Mobley. If it is, I think he's playing full minutes. I think it's a good matchup. I mean, the Nuggets don't have any rim protection to begin with, but it's even worse. They just don't have any beef to like keep these guys from getting to the rim, if you know what I'm saying. So
I do.
Mobley's like a he's like an 18-9 guy. I think that this is a good matchup, and yeah, I'd definitely lean over.
So I guess that's my only hesitancy. Well, actually, Matt, were you going to add to that point before I be my curmudgeonly self?
No, I was just gonna. There are a couple of comments about like PY.
Okay. I'll finish this point. We'll keep moving. My last point about Mobley is that last thing I just pulled up kind of scared me, which is like, it looks like if he caps out at like 32, even 33 minutes, these are pretty fair lines. It kind of seems like when he's playing, you know, at least let's say like 33 to 39, now these lines, well, this is obviously big lines. So it's weird. I'm not even like seeing that much correlation with the minutes, but let's get, I still I trust you guys with the especially with the intel coming in, that they want the bigs. If Mobley even gets a couple more minutes than he's been playing, then that's totally fine. So what's up with the chat? So
Swish is saying Mobley is fair at 18.5, just for context. And then addition to that, we have looks for P. White rebounds, and then also there was one other thing that I saw. P. Watt points.
Where you got P. Watt?
And Spencer Jones points.
Don't act like you don't know the name. Spencer Jones. A man who knows his role, I'll tell you that. Peyton Watson, rebounds. Man, he was a bat out of hell in this last game. I wonder if he is a microcosm of the point that I just made a minute ago, which is like, let's go win this one for the Joker. And then we come crashing back down to earth when we run into a buzzsaw in Cleveland. He's just raining down threes on your head. What's that?
Named Mobley.
Right. Yeah, right. So, yeah, I think the problem with the boards for me in this one would be if you are projecting blowout. This is now one higher than it was. I think it closed at 5.5 still. Yeah. See, this still closed at 5.5 against Toronto. He gets 8 on 12 chances. That's running pretty hot. 75% of your chances turning into boards. That's what we call running hot. Then you come into this game, maybe he gets 36, maybe he doesn't if they're getting blown out, and we see everyone's favorite Hunter Tyson minutes coming, stuff like that, right? You're going to see, I don't know if we're going to see Strother anymore, but like the end of the bench is going to come in. We're probably going to see some G Leaguers at that point. That would be my fear with PWAT boards. We're now have to pay more to get it because it's 6.5 instead of 5.5. This is a better rebounding team when they're playing well than the Raptors are this season. So that would scare me. If either of you guys disagree with anything I say, interrupt. Otherwise, we can keep rolling to what was the next thing you said there, Matt? Was there one more in this one?
Yes. Did you briefly talked about Spencer Jones?
Oh, right, Spencer Jones. Does he have props?
I'm not sure. I just saw it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know he might be in, but he doesn't have props.
Okay, then we can zoom on past it.
A dude plays 38 minutes, and then the next game he doesn't have props. I don't understand that, but yeah, let's roll to the next one. which is going to be, let's just make sure we're not missing anything we need to talk about here. I mean, as far as games left that are going to be worth talking about, man, this sucks, by the way. I'm going to the Dubs game tonight, which will not have anybody good in it. So,
yo, Josh, what's up with that, man? Like, are you kidding me? Like, are they resting all these guys like on the front end of a back-to-back for the Jazz tomorrow or something? Like, what's going on with that? Don't you want to play the best?
I don't know, man. Maybe their morale can't take another boost. Like, at least they could say they weren't trying when they lose by 40. Maybe that's it. That, like, if you quit before the game starts, then like, and this is still only 13 and a half. I don't know, man. This is just like blowout game, right? Like, did Joe's stuff go up yet? It's barely gone up.
It does. It has. I got, I believe 10 points for like plus 900 or something. And it's now not plus 450.
Wow.
10 points for plus 900, dude. All you need is to win by margin and you're golden.
I slammed minus 10.
Yep. The Hard Rock bump, baby. All right. Again, my dog doesn't know that he came in a door and that he can just go back to that door. He goes to this other door and barks at me because that one's closed. Give me 2 seconds. But just this game, I'm just blowout. So that's all I got. You can just finish on whatever you got for it.
Yeah. I got some stuff. I got some stuff for this game, guys. So this is just like a system that I've been doing the past couple of games that I've been keeping my eye out for. Guys, if you notice that the game's getting out of hand with OKC, live bet Isaiah Joe. I've been live betting Isaiah Joe because he'll play the full blowout. I believe Aaron Wiggins did not get the blowout run last time, and I can quick check to see what the NBA injury report has to see where like the G Leaguers are and stuff and who's going to be available because that stuff definitely matters for the live betting. Brooks Barnheiser is out with the G League and looks like Ousmane Dieng is still out, so that's good. Isaiah Joe's lock for garbage time minutes, and let me quick see who they closed with actually last game. Because I wonder if it's Wiggins. Usually it's been like Wiggins too, or was Wiggins last year or something? But let's see. Yeah, if you see the game getting out of hand, man, it's just like the easiest live bet because Isaiah Joe's gonna hit like 3 threes in the fourth quarter. He's gonna shoot like 5 threes. It's ridiculous. So
yeah, let me pull up OKC because that blowout data is going to be pretty telling too, which it's really why we just all notice like Isaiah Joe having the biggest disparity in the league between when they don't win by a lot and when they do win by a lot. This is just refreshing from its most recent pull through. But when OKC pulls up, we'll just go to matchup, go down to the faders and the boosters, right? So faders are guys that are going to lose minutes when they start winning. Dort, SGA, obviously Caruso, and then it's basically starters and people that get minutes, and then guys that get the garbage time, like the Isaiah Joe 5.5 minutes, 6 points that he gets extra when he's playing there from like up from his 6.5 point lines that they end up at like 9, 10.5. So it seems like this should be pretty fair for that. Let's see what the roster stuff looks like for Isaiah. So they have him at 14 minutes, but still even 7 points in 14 minutes. And that would be about his average. And he's also missed a few games recently. That's going to kind of bring his minutes projection down a little bit. But if you get this up to 20, now we're talking, right? And so the way to look at that on Props Madness is if you go to splits and you go to win-loss margin and you assume that this team is going to win by, 14 points, even just giving them a 14-point win margin here is going to look pretty good. Even if you make it like, I don't know, let's say they win by 10 to 20 in that range, right? Everything you can see still green at these low numbers for him. So he's like the 10 points is what we should be expecting here. That's why we thought like 8, 9.5 points seems fair. Opens at 5, pushed up to 6, probably going to end at 7 once everyone's like, well, this game's over. So yeah, I think we just got to hit. This is, what do we call this, Matt? That just push the button?
Yeah, just push the button.
Just push the button, man. Just stop thinking about it. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to be for him in this game. Did you guys want to do anything else in this one before we move? Because I'm not going to be betting on many Warriors tonight.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention there was a mention of Caruso. Like it really depends on the situation. Obviously, if it's a close game and you expect it to be a close game, Caruso is always a good look. I don't know. Like I know you fade him often. I've never actually faded him. Do you recommend fading him in this game if there's lines available?
Really putting me under it, aren't you? No, I think it's a great question. Yeah, I'm not right now. Is that what you were going to say, Ty?
Yeah, the line's like baked in. Like I think the market might be catching on to that. Like in the high spread games, Caruso doesn't play, but like 4.5 is kind of crazy. Like to be honest, like
you said all that need to be said. That's baked in. And that's what we're doing here. That like Swish, I feel like Swish just like fell in love with you, Ty, for saying that, because that's what he's always trying to teach us is like if you have information, it's great. It's not about if you have the information. It's about, is the information that you have baked into the number? Meaning, is the information that you have the same information that the books have, and you're both using it to project your stuff here? Okay, well then you don't have an edge. You've both considered it, and as a result of that consideration, the books adjusted the lines accordingly. Alex Caruso is at 4.5 in this game right now because it's a 14-point spread. Steph was ruled out, and people went to bet the under on him at 5.5 if it was there. But there's a reason that it's already lower than 5, 6, 5, 5, 6.5 points, because that's baked in. So they took the info that we're talking about here and went, let's bump Caruso down. So yeah, you're going to get a big gold star from Swish on that one for sure. All right, let's go to another one real quick, just because I have about 10 minutes before I got to dip. Any preference in games here? My suggestion would be one of these like 3 right here. Fast pace, and then Boo Boo. Say again.
Yep. Let's do Blazers Pels. I have one that I'm probably gonna play after after this stream. So I just want to quick crunch a couple extra numbers.
Yep. Crunch it.
Denny Avdia is way too high at 28.5. Ever since so you can look at his head-to-heads. He had one of his worst games of the year against the Pelicans. Only had 16 points in 32 minutes. He had a 32-point game, but that was before Willie Green got fired. And ever since James Rego got fired, they throw a lot of aggressive stuff at top options. They'll give up a ton of catch and shoot stuff. They're just very, very aggressive against these top guys, and they were very aggressive against them last time, and then they won the game by 23. So I would fully expect them to do the exact same thing. 28.5, you could just go to games without Drew Holiday, man. Like, dude, this line is ridiculously high. Like, I know the Pelicans stink at defense, but they're good against these top options. So I think that this line is ridiculous. It should be like 20, 25.5, 26.5.
Yep.
Actually,
no, so you just the points, right? Because that number is insane when I scroll by it. Yeah. So here's again, I think it's like a kind of repeat of what we were just saying. First of all, without Drew Holiday, like this was the number. Like there was a point in time where Drew was out and dude was at like 32 points per 36 minutes, right when Drew went out at the beginning here, with all these like 30 pointers in this range. So he upped his stuff without Drew on court majorly. But 28.5 is dumb. Even without Drew, you see he's still at 25 a night. Even when you look at the Pelicans' boo-boo defense, it actually has gotten up to like 12th, I believe, in defensive rating. Let me just make sure I'm not lying to you. I know in like the last 5 or so. Let's do the last 5 for this team.
While you're doing that, you can get a 29.5, by the way.
29.5 under 29.5 points.
Yeah, if it's still available on DK.
Where's Nola? This is the last 5. Maybe they are worse than I even give them credit for. Damn, they do suck. They're 3rd worst. Still, it doesn't matter. This is more about a matchup stuff. God, they are butt.
No, they do suck on defense. They do.
They're brutal. But here's the other thing. Eve Missy, much better defender down low than is Derek Queen. Derek Queen is out. Eve Missy is in. So this should be a lot harder than normal for Denny Avdia to get to all the way to the bucket. To that point, he is going to be on ball the whole time. This defense, you can see, is 4th limiting pull-ups as opposed to 28th limiting catch and shoot. So think the points are a great way to just leave it. He's not really getting any catch and shoot. Well, I guess 32%, but still, he's such a 3-level scorer that it's like coming from everywhere. There's really nobody there's no point guard in this team. So it's like he's got the ball in his hands, and Shaedon Sharpe ain't passing it. We know that much. Would you consider an over for Sharpe, who's going to be punishing the rim? It's just so damn high.
Yeah, I only bet against the Pelicans. I'll bet on big men because they give a ton of stuff at the rim, and I'll bet on catch and shoot guys. That's like kind of just like my little system going with them. So like Tamani, I think that's baked into his 14.5 personally. Right.
Yep, this has gone up. 13.5 was what it opened at. So they've been hitting Toumani Camara, my Belgian brother. Yeah, I like that. That's a good under there. Is Denny's under 28.5 points in this one. I mean, it's a 245.5 total, but like, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. The Blazers have not been the same team where they were like top 5 in pace. I know that to be true for this last 5 games. Portland went from like 4th in pace to where are they at now? 18th, 15th, 16th. So yeah, they're middle of the pack now, as opposed to like a team that you can just bank on playing at a stupid high speed. Don't mind that. The real quick, because you brought up the bigs versus the Pellies, like Rob Will playing like 16 to 20 minutes might still be good enough for me to like take his PR against this team. Although Missy is a bit better now. So yeah, I guess that would be pushing me away from it. Anything for you in this game, Matt, or from the chat?
I have nothing in this game. I don't really know what to make of either team. If I went anywhere, it'd probably be Zion, but he's really high as well. But there is someone in the chat asking about Kamara points. I'm not sure what the angle is there, but
no, the angle we were just talking about Kamara points. I'm gonna bring up the Kling and stuff just to make sure Swish saw it too, in case he can answer that in the chat. But like, and I want to talk about that actually, because the Tumani stuff we just mentioned, like this would be his game in terms of like a spot up shooter that you expect to be getting the benefit of this, still playing big minutes. 14.5 is basically what he's at unless he gets hot, right? Like he hit 40% of his threes. He hit 45% of his threes here. Didn't get it because he didn't hit that many. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is a good matchup. 14.5 to the point that Ty made is baked in. The bigs are what I would want to talk about. The Rob Will stuff, I said I'm not mad at it because it's so low. Let me just look at his minutes real quick, actually, as a thing here. But do either of you have a thought about Kling Kong versus Rob Will if you were to take a big in this one?
So in my opinion, Donovan is like so baked in. Like honestly, maybe not on PR, but like let's see, is there? Okay, there's 11.5s out there. I'm seeing a 12.5 on Donovan, dude. I don't think Donovan's ever worthy of a 12.5 line personally. So, but Rob, I see, dude. With Rob, I really like those like even numbers, you know. Yeah. Just like those, like because he's so like I wish this was 5.5, but yeah, you know, you're not wrong. Yeah. I would think 14 to 20, he's for sure tapped in for. And Pelicans are
So in terms of minutes,
yeah.
So what did I just give him? I just gave him 16 to 20. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, 16. Yeah, because he's
that's what I was saying. It's like 7 and 7. So I think he's also baked into that amount of time, right? If we pull up Portland real quick and see what we're giving him here
for Klingen, I think it might be a better choice to take, because I mostly agree with Ty on that. If you wanted to go double, I think that makes sense
for Kling Kong. Does it still get you a decent number here?
It's minus 137, so it's not great. But if I went with Klingen, that's what I would do.
Yeah. This feels very much like the touchdown bet in the NFL. Like I have a big problem taking a minus 120 on a touchdown bet.
I get it.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ty?
Well, and yeah, Josh, you also make a good point though. Like genuinely, Queen being out is like a massive upgrade for the defense. Like so they might be like a little bit better at defending that restricted area, to be honest with you.
Yep. And I gotta tell this is getting up. So this is probably getting bet or something. But I'm here with it. There's no like injury news that would impact Denny, right? The way he's kind of gone up to 29.5, Matt.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll double check really quickly if y'all want to like.
Yeah.
Same people out in Grand Holiday. They've been out for a while now.
Right. Yeah. There's no change there. This is what we're talking about, man. We're like looking for stuff and we're like, yeah, it seems like whatever number I would come up with is still they're coming up with the same number because it's baked in. Let's try to get to these last two because nothing stood out to me in this one. The other thing to keep in mind about the scary thing about the Denny Avdi under, Sadiq Bey is out. So is another. They don't have no wings. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Sadiq Bey. There's no wings. There's no their long rangy defender coming out to stop Denny above the break. So that would probably be a big reason for all this because that would scare me. But man, 29.5 on Principal is almost like I just push the button, man. Like I love Denny. He's not that. Magic Bulls. I didn't have anything. Why did I come here, man? I guess I just want. Oh no, I did have something. I'm sorry. I ended up playing Jalen Suggs PRA. My bad. I was like, shoot. I do have something. The number's gone. I think I would still play 23.5. I played 22.5. But I would still play 23.5. Here's what I'm looking at with Jalen Suggs. If you look at Suggs, the projection of like that was at 14.5 points. That was probably the thing that got bet the most of his stats that pushes PRA up. 14.5 points. Like, what are we projecting him for minutes? 25. 25 again. I don't know. I don't know why it wouldn't be like the at least 25, let's say, right? So like if we put him on the season, well, let's just do it this way. When he's played with how did I do it last time? My bad. I already forgot what I did. Let me just give him 28 to 32. So does that seem too high? Am I going crazy thinking that he's going to play normal minutes in this game? Is that part of the problem? Can anyone tell me if I'm crazy? I guess if you didn't look at Jalen Suggs, it wouldn't be that easy.
I didn't look at Jalen Suggs, but this dude has like they were super, super conservative with him coming back from injury at the start of the year. So I would kind of think, what do you have him for? 20. Yeah, see, I think that he's probably like I think that 30 is probably a hard cap for him personally.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess he did come back from injury. It's only been one game. That's probably why. So stuff's going up because it's a little bit. But let's give him then the 25. I guess 28 would be the max here. And if you give him 25, then yeah, then this number looks a little bit different. But like it's still a pretty high number, man. And this is a fast-paced, awful defense. It just was like the biggest edge I can find in this game is Suggs at this point. Definitely the points as much as anything, but all of it not bad either. I needed to take somebody against the Bulls. I hate watching the Bulls give up what they give up and not having any bets on it. So I had to. Did you guys have anything for this to start starting with you, Ty, if you had anything?
Yeah, I played Vooch under 1.5 threes. This thing got juiced crazy though. So
that's nuts.
That just means it's gonna lose though.
So is that just like the Wendell Carter coming out to D him up?
It's the switch heavy scheme, right? Like Vooch against a switching defense is not going to get like any threes.
Yeah. What you're saying is if you don't leave Vooch alone by himself at the top of the key, he's fucking worthless.
Yeah, they're just like going to switch it instead. Like he needs like the drop coverage and him to So
basically, there's probably the like versus catch and shoot defenses that are good against it. He sucks and all that kind of stuff. So, Matt, anything for you before I just do rapid fire with the last one?
I considered Paulo over 8.5 boards. I never got to the window with it. I still.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm not sure yet.
I know. I considered it too. I liked it more because of this matchup with the Pacers. He's got good history rebounding against this team. Who's he going to guard? I don't have he's on this guy because all of these guys here for the Bulls are going to play anywhere from 22 to 30 minutes, all of them. So like he'll be on a different guy every time they keep the rotation moving for Chicago. That was what kept me away from the boards in this one. Suggs is my only thing in this one. And then we had the under for Vooch, but that's gone from Ty. And then last game here that I just wanted to touch on for a sec, because I did take Colin Sexton, and I'm surprised that I didn't hear more from you about it, Matt, because we were both talking, like, I know the chat's been talking about this. 10.5 was disrespectful even when he was just coming back. But like, if he's in like low 20s minutes, then 11.5 is disrespectful essentially. So I took him over 11.5 points and would even consider over 12.5. But like, even if you put him in 20 to 24 minutes, no, that wasn't it. It was 26 to 22. Forget what the minutes range that I gave him was. Basically, though, if you put him out there in the games where he's with Miles, what do I have selected right here? Oh, this is without Miles. With Miles, and then with all these other guys, he's getting about 22.5-ish minutes. Khan, Ball, Bridges, Miller, and still an 8-game sample size of him playing 22.5 minutes and going cleanly over this number very consistently against a couple of defenses I would say are absolutely better than the Milwaukee Bucks defense right now. So yeah, I took Sexton, and even though there's a couple other things I like in this one too, but any thoughts on anything from this one, Ty?
I think Khan's pretty interesting. Bucks have been a really, really bad catch and shoot 3-point defense. I mean, he's just been like, obviously there's going to be a lot of games like without Melo, Miller, Miles in here and stuff. But I personally think Khan is just, better than a 17.5 line. It's also, he's going to be like engaged for this one because he's from Wisconsin. And I know last time he had like his whole like family, his whole town there or something. So I'm sure that, going to be a lot of family there. I think that 17.5 is just a good line, man.
I'm fine with that angle. There's some things that I think are noise, and there's some things that I think are real. And going to play in front of people that you care about playing in front of or against or whatever, it matters. Like, these are human beings at the end of the day. We forget that that's going to come into the number here. And Khan having a little bit of a bump makes sense. 17.5 to your point. Like, honestly, man, I just had the filters up with with everybody. You know what I mean? And like Miller, everybody, Khan's still at about 18, 20 points. So I think 18.5 is fair. So you get a little bit of an edge on the 17.5. I just went with Colin because I thought it was about a 3-point edge that I have here for him in this one. But did we end up going with Khan in the in the group chat there, in the VIP chat? Ooh, thank you for the help here. Diabate out, apparently. I think I just got that update.
Oh, that's gonna get ugly, man. I wonder. So if you guys look at what the Hornets have done against Giannis this year, they've actually done pretty good against him. Really turned him into a passer. I wonder. I would not play around with the under there probably just because they don't have a big, and he might just be in like screw you mode. I'm scoring 50. You guys have no one who can even.
You're right though. It's not just this year, by the way. It's last year too, where Giannis head to head against this team. In 2 games, averages about 20, right? 22 and then 32. And then assists 12 and 6. And that's been the case this season in the games he played, right? Like one full, no Kevin Porter Jr. So this is definitely bloated. But I mean, even if you inflate from the 18 assists on 23 potentials, even if you drop that down with KPJ, like it's 5.5 is fine. And same in this last game where it was like they're clearly making the effort to like double him. He's going to get fouled a lot by guys like, well, I thought Musa, but now is Miles Bridges this team's center now? Or PJ Hall, everyone's favorite PJ Hall is going to be out there to hang on Giannis's arms while he tries a dunk. I think I don't know what the game plan is there.
That's probably what it is. Only healthy center. That's crazy. Probably a lot of saloon, to be honest, I would think.
Yeah. Well, man, that did not work out last game. Overthought that one and ended up betting on him. Yeah, maybe. And I was saying that like I actually kind of like Miles Rebs if Musa played, because then Musa would be draped all over Giannis, and then Miles would be free to go get the boards against the other Miles Turner, who does not board on the Bucks. So like that would have been where I go. But like this is about to pop up again at what, like 7.5 juiced, and then get to 8.5 on the boards for him. So like if he's guarding Giannis, that sucks. I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to do with any of this now.
Apparently, FanDuel's still holding a 6.5 boards for Miles.
Wow.
I don't know if this is just not updated, but that's the only one.
It's tough when it's just popping up and out. So I don't know if I can get there with that, but what an interesting time to have to dip. If I missed anything that you guys want to talk about, let's just do a quick free for all if you got it. But otherwise, I'm good to leave in a sec.
Yeah. Good. So I got one thing, and we don't have a line for them yet, but I just on Props Madness, what's really cool about it is you can see the closing line last game. So T-Jane like played less minutes than expected.
Who's that? T-Jane Salon.
Yep. So he closed at 13.5. If we get a 14.5 PR line, I'm definitely gonna play T-Jane here, because the Bucks also give up a ton of catch and shoot stuff. Teams really don't care about him shooting anyways. But I'd probably have T-Jane genuinely probably like 28 minutes here tonight.
I just don't know if he's gonna get even 4 shots.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't. That would be my only thing. So that's why I've been sticking with boards if I did bet on him, which God did not work out. But so did you take PR? You said if you get like the same number here.
Mm-hmm. Bucks allow the third highest catch and shoot frequency. That's basically what his game is. And teams don't care about him shooting the ball.
No doubt. 20% of his stuff from the corners. Yeah, that adds up to me. Matt, any quick hitters that you either want to bring up or you thought were interesting from the chat or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. This was really great. We had a really great show, and a lot of people showed up. A lot of good stuff in the comments. So appreciate y'all trying to help everybody out as much as we can. I know we probably missed some stuff, but there's a lot of comments, so it's good stuff. Hopefully you guys are still watching this. You are able to subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be doing this as much as I can. Gonna have a video. I'll probably actually be going live tomorrow as well, because I'm not gonna have an episode tonight about tomorrow's games, but there's like 8 or 9, so I want to make sure I get something going. So we will be going live tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Check out Ty's channel, Straight Bettin' on YouTube, and Straight Bettin', or excuse me, at Ty VSB. Did I get that right? Ty? On Twitter, Ty VSB.
Ty SB.
Tyvin SB. There you go.
Yeah, Tyvin SB.
All right, it's right there under Matt. That's not Tyvin SB. That's Matt, but you get it. All right, appreciate you jumping on as always, Ty. We will I'm sure we'll be back here soon. We got there's about to be mad games in the NBA. It's like a bunch of teams have like 15 games over the next like 25 nights, which is gonna be madness. So we're gonna get a lot of the 8 to 10 game slates, which is dope. But appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be back. Best of luck tonight. Till we see you next. Happy betting.